Hello beautiful people and welcome to another Zion Family Wellness video. It's Amanda Street here, and today I'm demonstrating how I assess the Moro Reflex. The Moro Reflex is a reflex that we're born with, and over time it is meant to inhibit, but over time through life, stress, trauma can trigger this Moro Reflex to be reactivated. And we don't need this reflex. We need it when we're babies to keep us safe, sure, but we don't need this reflex because it can cause all sorts of trouble with our bodies. So we can have can affect low self-esteem. So it's cause low self-esteem in people. It's quite common for kids on the spectrum to have this reflex triggered or uninhibited. And so that's why I usually assess this reflex first. It's also really helpful for me to assess this reflex for people who suffer anxiety, because I find a lot of the time that the clients that have come to me for anxiety or PTSD is because it has followed some kind of trauma, like a car accident, falling off a horse, those kinds of things. So they can certainly trigger this reflex as well. And first of all, to give you a bit of a background of what the reflex is, we are born with it, and it's for us to, as babies, to alert our parents when there's a change in environment. So you'll often, if you're a parent yourself, or you may know a bit about babies, and you've seen that when they're born, or they swaddle them. Midwives encourage you to swaddle babies, and that's to keep their arms in because they can wake themselves up from the startle reflex, which is the breathing in quickly and the arms coming out. So this is the Moro Reflex, so that'll probably be more familiar with you. So you can find that when the Moro Reflex has been triggered or hasn't inhibited the way that it should, it affects the stimulus bound effect, which is when the child has difficulty ignoring visual information in their visual field. It can affect, the child can be photosensitive, and this means that they're affected by bright lights. It can hurt their eyes, it can be painful, or they just don't like bright lights. Immune system can be quite lowered. So if you're finding that your child is getting sick, even just the sniffles, runny nose, and then getting better and then getting sick again, or constant ear infections, that kind of thing, this can be a major part of that as well. If they're having difficulty adjusting to sudden changes, anxiety, as I said before, if you suffer anxiety, this is a reflex that I always check first. It can affect self-esteem, it can affect your ability to make decisions, and it can cause auditory confusion and misunderstandings. So I'd like to now demonstrate the assessment that I do by inviting my son Will in. This is my son Will, and he's going to be my little test dummy today to just demonstrate to you how I check the Moro Reflex. So Will, could you turn around to the side, and I'm going to get you to bring your arms up in front of you, bend your elbows and relax your hands down. You can tell that he's done this before, so just take a step back. That's it, so the people can see you at home. Okay, so standing up straight and bring your feet together. Good. Head looking up. Good, and close your eyes. Now I'm going to get Will to keep his feet together, keep his eyes closed, and my hands are on his shoulder to support him, and I'm just going to let him slowly come back to me. And I will let him drop a little bit more. And you can see his arms moved a little bit, but that wasn't too much. So we're going to do that again. So keeping your eyes closed, good boy, and again dropping. And his hands stayed still. Okay, so to me that's that rates lowish on the on like a little scoreboard, so to speak. What we're looking for is when the arms come out, as I said at the start. When babies have that startle reflex, the arms come out and they take that breath in. So if your child is bringing their arms out, then that's a really big indication that their Moro Reflex has been triggered, and or if you know someone who has anxiety, or even yourself who you may have anxiety, you can get someone to do this test on you at home as well to check. Obviously make sure that you've got a clear space around you and it's nice and safe, because you're going to take all the weight of the person. So you need to have one foot back to be able to catch them and keep your balance. So this is a really important assessment, as you can see, because as I said, if the hand's going up, then it's a pretty high mark in the assessment. If they bring their hands down, then it scores really low, and it does mean that the reflex isn't triggered. It's perfectly fine. So then I would look at what else is going on for the child in particular, and probably look at brain functioning when treating kids on the spectrum and keeping you awake, how we will. So that gives you a bit of an idea and what it means and how you can assess it at home. If you find you do this at home, please be safe, and you can give me a call if you'd like to make an appointment so I can assist you in helping this to be able to settle this whole nervous system back down, so we can help your child with their immune system, to help them with their auditory confusion, adjusting to sudden changes, and that stimulus bound effect that I said with the visual stuff as well. So if you would like to come and see me, if you'd like to come and see me for a session, I'd love to help you out. I will obviously reassess your child myself, and then we'll find ways of how I can correct that for you, and also give you tools and techniques that you can do at home as well in between sessions. And so we're working on empowering you to know the tools and techniques on how you can also help your child, not just rely on me all the time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I didn't babble on too much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, bye. To book a session, you can go to my website, www.zionfamilywellness.com.au, or you can give me a call on 0424 297 315.